Hello, all you pro wrestling marks and proud, and welcome to Calling Spots with Brian Kelly. That's me, Brian Kelly. And today we're going to talk about Raw from last night in Phoenix, February 19th, 2018. And what a Raw it was. Both good and some bad stuff, but it was fun overall and entertaining overall. But first off, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at Calling Spots Pod. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Calling Spots Podcast. And if you want to get me on Facebook, it's as well Calling Spots Podcast. Or you can email me at callingspotspodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click that little subscribe button down there for me. I really appreciate that. All right, let's get into it, man. So Raw came to us from Phoenix last night. It was a good show overall. There were some things that I didn't like, some things I really did like, and we'll talk about that stuff. So we start off the show with a cold open of JoJo in the ring by herself, asking for a moment of silence for the victims and those affected by the school shooting in Florida. After that, we get bad out. The big dog comes out. I don't care what you guys say. People love Roman Reigns. Men's voices are more resonant, and the frequency is at a different level. I've studied all this because I record and shit. So you get 30 guys in a room going boo and get 200 other people in a room going yeah, and you're going to hear the boos more than you're going to hear the yes. But dude, listen back to that. You can hear those boos in there, but it's not a lot, and people don't chant Roman sucks anymore either. He's great. I love Roman. That's my own thing. So Roman comes out, and then we go over to the commentary desk where we see Corey, Coach, and Michael Cole talking about last week's finish to Raw, where both Seth and Finn pinned Bray Wyatt to win that match to decide who was going into the Elimination Chamber. From there, we go to a backstage segment that was shot right after the match last week on Raw, where Kurt Angle says, look, you both deserve to be in it, so that's what we're going to do. You're both going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to have 3 guys start out and 4 guys in the pods. So, 4 guys in the pods, 3 guys starting out, and then as it counts down, or I think they have to be eliminated. Yeah, it's an elimination chamber. That's what it's called. So as people get pinned, but I don't know if they have to pin 2 people to get 1 out. Is there always going to be 3 in the ring? I don't know. It's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to Elimination Chamber. So we get a Roman Reigns in-ring interview where he says, or he's asked, are you concerned about tonight at all? And he said, no, I'm not concerned about tonight. I'm concerned about Elimination Chamber. And then he lists off the guys that are in Elimination Chamber with him. Says guys like Finn Balor, yay. Guys like The Miz, yay. And he goes through the list, and then he goes, but the thing that all of those guys have in common is none of them can beat Brock Lesnar. That's why it's my time. I'm the one who can beat Brock Lesnar. To which the crowd kind of goes, and he goes, oh, y'all don't think so? Go back and watch WrestleMania where I had Brock Lesnar beat until, and then Seth's music lights up because that's what happened at WrestleMania. He was about to beat Brock for the title, and then Seth came down and cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and walked out with the title, which was awesome. So Seth comes out, burning it down, as it were, and we're going to start this gauntlet match. This gauntlet match was the longest match on Raw in history, which is pretty awesome because it was a really great match, and I really, really enjoyed it. We start off with Roman and Seth, and man, they are so good together. Just quick moves back and forth. They started out really slow, not really slow, but they started at a slower pace to kind of build into it, and man, did they. Lots of headlock and arm bar, just kind of feeling each other out and doing a thing, feeling what the other one was going to do. There was this one awesome spot where Seth shoots himself into the ropes to come after Roman after clocking Roman in the head, and Roman just stomps into him and stops Seth dead in his tracks. It was awesome. He whips himself in, Roman goes, oh, like that, and Seth goes, whoa, and just backs up. It was really, really, really cool. So yeah, it was some good back and forth. It was great, match in its own right, not to mention part of a gauntlet match. But man, it was a good match. The crowd at certain points were chanting, burn it down, which I've never heard them do before. So that was pretty cool. Seth Buckle picked up Roman and did one of those big ass buckle bombs, like the one he did on the outside that busted up Finn's shoulder. But he did it to Roman on the inside, and dude, it looked rough. I can't believe he can pick him up like that. Really, that was cool. And then after he buckle bombed him into that, Roman kind of bounced off of it and hit into a Superman punch. That was cool. Roman's got to stop cocking his fist and doing the ooh ah thing in the corner, because he never ever hits it. If I had the time, I swear I'd go back 1 year from today and just count how many times he does the cocking of the fist and how many times he does the ooh-ah thing and actually fucking hits a Superman punch or hits that spear. It's fucking so rare, and it's predictable at this point. He's got to stop doing it. I'm really shocked that somebody in the back hasn't said, dude, you have to stop doing that because you never, ever hit it. So anyway, Seth is selling the hip thing really hard. I haven't checked out any of the websites today or any of the news sites today. I just rewatched Raw to make sure I had all my notes that I wanted. But he was selling a hip injury the whole Roman match and a lot of the night as he was being thrown into things and stuff. And I wasn't sure if it was real or if he's selling like crazy, but it hopefully he's okay. I don't want to hurt Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins. 2 suicide dives on Roman on the outside in a row off near the ramp. He does one, then he does another one right away. I think he usually does 3, but he didn't do 3, and I wonder if that has anything to do with his hip bothering him. Seth slings himself off the top rope right into a Superman punch. You know how him and AJ do that thing where they're standing on the apron and they grab the top rope and kind of slingshot themselves onto the top rope and then bounce off of that? Well, Seth did that to Roman jumping into him with a Superman punch, and Seth hit the ground like a sack of rocks, man. Just bleh. It looked rough. He did that. It was really cool. I'm trying not to spoil the rest of the show. Not that you've seen it if anybody's even watching this. Kick out. Great false finishes. A lot of good false finishes. Roman is so good. He sells good. Everything he does is great. I'm sorry. I love Roman Reigns. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's great. Seth goes for the curb stomp and misses, so Roman tries a O'Connor roll on him, which Seth reverses and then gets a pin on Roman Reigns clean in the center of the ring on Monday Night Raw. Can you believe that? Y'all got to stop with this imaginary push bullshit that you keep harping on about with Roman, because I don't fucking see it. He's lost to Finn on Raw. He's lost to Seth on Raw. He lost to Dean on Raw. I mean, what the fuck, you guys? What are you talking about? Anyway, he lost to The Miz on Raw twice. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyways, Seth is laying against the rope and he's looking at Roman. He's like, I had to, man. I had to. And Roman's like, that's cool. That's cool. They do a fist bump and then Cena's music hits. Abadoo. So Cena comes out. Dan Engler is the referee. John Cone and Dan Engler kind of trade back and forth through these matches. So whenever there's a pinfall, Dan Engler will come in, and then when he counts a pinfall, John Cone will come in, and they just kind of take breaks. So the first one was John Cone, and this one's Dan Engler. Cena comes out, and as soon as Cena throws his hat into the crowd, Seth jumps him from behind and just starts trying to beat him and pin him right away, and he doesn't. And then we go to a commercial. We come back from the commercial, and Cena's got Seth in a headlock, kind of letting Cena rest, doing some rest holds. and letting him kind of catch his breath after that brutal match with Roman. It was a great match with Roman. It was like a 25-minute match. Really good. Watch it if you haven't. Really great match. A really great story that Seth and John told in this match, and I hope it doesn't get overlooked by the other, wrestling journalists or YouTubers or whatever the hell you want to call it, what we're doing here. But they sold a really good story of Seth barely hanging on, knee bothering him, hip bothering him, John Cena just bludgeoning Seth and going, stay down, man, stay down. But Seth keeps kicking out, and Cena just being amazed at Seth's resilience and talking to the ref going, I don't know what to do here, and all this kind of thing. Really cool. Seth missed a frog splash from the top rope. That was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. And you wouldn't think that just saying that, but the way he did it, dude, I've seen people miss stuff from the top rope before, and they always kind of protect themselves right as they're hitting. And Seth has none of that shit. He took a frog splash so hard from the top rope, I thought he really hurt himself. But he won't stay down. He keeps kicking out. He'll come back and beat Cena up a little bit and hit Cena with some bigger moves, and then they'll both be down. We'll get almost a false double count out, both in the ring and outside of the ring. I mean, dude, Seth Rollins put on two of the best matches Raw's had in one night in a long time. It was really, really great. In a long time, and I said that backwards, but you get what I'm trying to say. So it was great. False finish after false finish, false countouts. Seth catches John coming off the top rope the way that John usually does and flips him into position and AAs John Cena. He did the exact little sequence that John does when he catches somebody coming off the top, and it was awesome, but Cena kicked out of it. John finally picks up Seth for an AA, and Seth kind of slips out of it, kicks him in the stomach, goes into the rope, curb stomp, and beats John Cena clean on Raw right after he beat Roman Reigns. I want to say that again. Seth Rollins beat John Cena and Roman Reigns in back-to-back matches on the same night. You guys need to get over this whole Cena-Roman thing, man, and then pushing them too hard and all that shit, because it's kind of bullshit. It feels like bullshit to me. And it was an amazing, amazing, amazing job by Seth Rollins. I don't think I've ever seen a better Seth Rollins match, and I know it's not really a one-on-one match, but still, he was just amazing. And I really hope he was all selling and he's not actually hurt. And Cena did a great job kind of playing I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt this guy, but he won't stop, and trying to get Seth to give up and going, just lay down, man. It was really cool. So then we get Elias Sampson coming out to the ring. John Cone comes back in as your referee. And Elias runs in as Seth's laying on the ground and just rolls on him and tries to pin him really quick. And Seth kicks out and goes right after him. And then we head to a commercial. When we come back from a commercial, Elias is just lighting Seth up. Seth is selling a left knee injury. It's not his hip anymore. It's his knee now, I guess, or both. I'm not sure. And Elias is taking advantage and doing everything he can to get Seth to, it was an okay match. They kind of went back and forth. To be honest, it was kind of an anticlimactic after the amazing Roman Reigns match and the almost even better, if you can believe it, John Cena-Seth match. That this was kind of anticlimactic, and it was kind of, Elias trying to beat up Seth and Seth kicking out and not really giving up. Elias hits a drift away and finally gets a pin on Seth Rollins, and Seth is out of the gauntlet match. As I said, a little anticlimactic. Seth wrestled for 1 hour and 5 minutes. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing performance. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's great. So we have Elias Sampson now, who's going to move on in the gauntlet, and Finn Balor heads out to the ring. Dan Engler comes back in as your ref. Seth backstage after the match. They do these little after the match kind of interviews. They did one with Roman, and they did one with Seth now, and they do one with everybody, which I didn't get a lot of what they said. They basically just said, come Elimination Chamber, this is all going to be different. But they just show a little picture-in-picture backstage of whoever's talking going, yeah, man, he got the better of me, but we'll see what happens this Sunday. That's it. So Elias is working Finn's shoulder injury, his previously injured shoulder. They go at it pretty good, but Elias gets the better of him and really just starts working on the shoulder over and over and over again. There wasn't much back and forth at first until Finn eventually hits a coup de grace for the win. I love both Finn and Elias, but I think it was just the come down from those two matches. It just kind of seemed like a stalling for time more than anything. So Elias is out after a coup de grace. Then The Miz comes out with the Miztourage. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. John Cone comes back in as your ref, and you got The Miz versus Finn Balor. Miztourage comes out of the entrance, but there's no Miz. So Finn's standing in the ring, all huffy and puffy waiting for him, and Miz jumps him from behind, coming from the other side. And from there on, it's pretty much a squash by Miz at first, because every time Finn would start to get something going, the Miztourage would interrupt somehow or distract a referee somehow, and Miz would take advantage of that. So Finn has a beautiful over-the-top rope dive into the Miztourage. He's running into the ropes, and he ducks under a clothesline from Miz, and then just does one of those swan things over the top rope right onto Miztourage. Great stuff. It was a good match, back and forth, a little bit near the end, but at the beginning, the first 5-6 minutes of it were pretty much the Miz just taking advantage of Finn. Finn goes up to the top rope to hit a coup de grace on Miz, but is distracted by Bo Dallas, who kind of almost grabs his foot, but kind of distracts him. And that gives the Miz a chance to go up, punch him, get him to fall, and then he hits his skull-crushing finale, and Miz will now move on in the gauntlet match. Finn did a really good job for the two matches he was in, but I'm telling you, man, that Seth thing just kind of set a tone for that match, and they didn't live up to it with the rest of it. Until Miz is very happy in the ring going, I did it. I'm going to, he's pointing at the WrestleMania sign. I'm going to WrestleMania and I did it. This is great. And then he realizes, oh shit, there's only one person left in this match other than me. And then the music hits. Braun Strowman comes out, throws his hands in the air like he just doesn't care, and the entire crowd goes nuts. Miz tries to run away once Braun gets to the ring and run through the crowd. He kind of jumps back through where JoJo sits and the, bell and all that stuff, and tries to run around the crowd. And motherfucking Braun Strowman runs him down like a linebacker, dude. I think Michael Cole actually said that. Ran him down like a linebacker. And, dude, you can see him accelerate. There's this wide-angle camera shot from like a crane where you can see Miz and him running, and Braun just like kicks into third gear and just goes whoo, and he catches up to him just as Miz is about to hit like the announcer's table area, and just one hand just paws him like a bear, and just knocks Miz down, grabs him, picks him up, and takes him back to the ring, and kills him. Just kills him. It's 5 minutes of him destroying The Miz. And then The Miz finally gets a skull-crushing finale on him, but he kicks out. And when he kicks out of the skull-crushing finale, he's close enough to the ropes to where he throws Miz through the bottom 2 ropes onto the Miztourage. And then when Miz gets put back in the ring, that's when Braun power slams him for the win. And Braun Strowman wins the gauntlet match. Now, here's my thoughts on the gauntlet match, and then we'll do the post-Braun stuff. I think they should have let Finn go all the way to... I think they should have let Seth go all the way to the end and then get destroyed by Braun. I understand why they didn't do that, because they're both faces at this point. You can try and... Braun's a face, dude. They love him. Stone Cold level almost love him. So you can't have him come out and beat up the guy who's made it through 5 other dudes. It just would, it would kind of be counterintuitive. But Seth did such a great job. I would really have loved to have seen him go the distance, and then once Braun comes out, just be like, dude, there's no fucking way. And have Braun just kind of, work it out. I'm not a writer, work it out. But that's not how they did it. It's not my TV show. It's their TV show, and I enjoyed their TV show. It was very entertaining, and I liked it. So after the match, we get Braun on the ramp doing an interview, and this is one of Braun's best promos he's ever done. Braun is very, very good on the mic. She asked him, do you fear what's going to happen on Sunday when you're in the ring with all of them at once? And he goes, I don't fear the unknown fears me. Watch him do it. I'm paraphrasing, and I'm not nearly as intimidating. And he says, after Elimination Chamber, I'm coming for Brock Lesnar. And then he goes, you hear me, Beastie Boy? Ooh, shit. I'm not finished with you. Now, you'll excuse me. I have some unfinished business to attend to. Crowd pops because they know he's headed to the ring to power bomb everything. And that's exactly what he does. He power bombs Miz twice. He power bombs Axel and Bo. He power bombs everything. He goes to get out of the ring, looks at the crowd. The crowd's like, come on. And he goes, all right, I'll power bomb them all again. He power bomb, kills everyone. I even put it in my notes like that. Kills everyone. And my next note, as you see, is Coach is doing really great work. It's nice to hear Coach. I like Booker. Booker was cool, but it was always disjointed and always felt kind of like they weren't meshing. There was all this kind of, what do you mean? What'd you say? Blah, 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 blah. But I like Coach's work a lot. So that was the gauntlet match. Braun leaves to his screaming voice, killing everyone. After that, we got Asuka walking backstage, headed to the ring. And then between her getting to the ring and the backstage thing, we get a Jarrett Hall of Fame video package. So goddamn Jarrett's going into the Hall of Fame, huh? Didn't we all agree we hated Jeff Jarrett? I mean, don't they have like a huge rift between them over money and shit? He held him up at Survivor Series backstage and was like, I'm not going to do it unless you pay me enough. And then he got fired and was never back in the WWE again. Who the fuck approved this? I can't believe Jeff Jarrett's getting into the Hall of Fame. I would have never in a million years thought Jeff Jarrett. If they put Jeff Jarrett into the Hall of Fame and they don't put China into the Hall of Fame this year, I'm going to be pissed. Anyways, Asuka comes out, and I don't know if she had a match or anything, but she comes out to do an in-ring interview. We go to a commercial. We come back, and Asuka's in the ring with Renee Young. And they had her do, usually in NXT and on Raw, Asuka just speaks in Japanese, and it's intimidating, and it's cool because you don't understand her, but you know she means it. They are trying to make her speak English, and it's not great. Bless her heart. I hope she gets better and can do Shakespeare in 2 years. But right now, it's not great. lost a lot of what she said, and I had to rewind it quite a few times. But what she said basically was, she said, Nia said you're going to have to wear that mask permanently. Strong words from a strong woman, but she didn't look very strong at our last match. And come WrestleMania, I'm going to beat her very much. And then Nia tries to sneak in behind Asuka as she's pulling this interview. And Asuka kind of sees her and takes advantage of it and kind of kicks her a couple of times. They get into it before Nia totally takes over. Slams her down. Nia gives her 2 big front leg drops. And then Asuka rolls over onto her stomach. And then she leg drops her onto the back of her neck. Whoa. And Nia had her hair tied back for some reason. She had her hair all tied back in like this. It wasn't even like done tied back. It was literally like they went, go out there and beat her up. Go, go, go. My hair's not here. Just tie it up. Go. Because I've never seen Nia with her hair tied up like that ever. And especially with it looked like somebody just grabbed a scrunchie out of their purse or something. It didn't match her outfit or anything. It was very, very odd. But she talks smack to Asuka in the ring and is like, yeah, how you like me now, Asuka? And then walks. And then we get a Ronda Rousey video package saying that she's going to sign her contract at Elimination Chamber. And I really hope people don't boo her out of the building because they shouldn't. She hasn't even done anything yet. Why do you guys hate her? Stupid. And then we go to a commercial. And when we come back from the commercial, we have The Bar entering the ring. Or entrance coming out because they're going to take on Titus Worldwide. And I think Sheamus is going to take some time after WrestleMania to rehab that bad neck. He's got that edge thing and that stone cold thing going on with his neck. So I'm not sure, but I think he's going to take some time off after that. So The Bar doesn't seem like they're going to be around very long, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. We'll see. Won't we? We'll all see together. It's going to be great. So then we get Titus Worldwide coming out. Sean Bennett is going to be your referee, and it's a good match. Apollo's doing great work as he has been the last couple of weeks. Even Titus looked good, and Titus kind of has lost me over the last year. He just seems slow in the ring and kind of sluggish, but he seemed really good in this ring. He's in this match. He seemed like he was into it. He had something to do. He had something to prove. It was really good. So Apollo shoots Sheamus over the top rope after he sends Cesaro into the corner like post thing where they go between the 2 turnbuckles and ram into the post. And then he sends Sheamus out like that. And as Cesaro is coming out of the post thing, Apollo grabs him, rolls him up, and they get the win. Titus Worldwide beat the Raw Tag Team Champions twice. They beat them last week too. Excuse me, guys. They beat them last week too, if I'm not mistaken. Because even Michael Cole said, Titus Worldwide has the Bar's number. And they do. And I'm happy for him, man. I really hope they push those guys. I've always liked Titus. Just like I said, he lost me over the last year. And Apollo, I've never really cared for. But over the last, 4 months or so, he's really gotten good. And I'm really into him and like what he's doing. He's won me over. It's pretty awesome. After that, we go to a commercial. And then we come back from the commercial with a kind of a match rundown, a card rundown of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view with the commentary kind of going through it. An image will flash across the screen and say Elimination Chamber women's match, and it'll show all the women, and then the commentators will talk over that. They did that for a minute. And then we get a darky, smoky Bray Wyatt promo where he says, Broken Matt Hardy, the end of you is coming at Elimination Chamber. And then Broken Matt has a promo where he goes, we've battled for centuries, yes, and we'll continue to. And then it cuts back to Bray and back to him, and they go back and forth going, you're a lie, he's a liar, I will end, you will be deleted, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth. It was okay. It was a little quick cut for me. And after that, we get Sasha Banks coming to the ring because we have a huge 6-woman tag team match to end the show with. So Sasha comes out, we go to commercial. Then when we're back from a commercial, we get Mickie coming out. Mickie James looking over so lovely in her shorts. I love when Mickie James wears shorts because I love Mickie James so much. And then we get Bayley coming out, and Bayley looks adorable. Does her thing with waving to the... I say looks adorable not because of looks, but because I thought she was going to come out with a mean face on, because she's been kind of not heel Bayley, but kind of attitude Bayley. But she came out smiling and hugging and doing her thing and hugging people in the crowd. So that was great. And then Absolution comes out with Mandy Rose, Paige, and Sonya Deville, and their partner is going to be Alexa Bliss. It can't be. It is. And we get a backstage cell promo of Absolution doing their thing like this, saying, hey man, we're both in the Elimination Chamber match, so one of us is walking into WrestleMania. Y'all have no chance. And then we get Alexa Bliss coming out to the ring looking a little worried, looking a little determined, and looking just little. I'm just kidding. She's awesome. Dan Engler is your referee. We get Alexa and Mickie to start. Alexa's turned towards Absolution going, no, I got this, and doesn't realize that Mickie is starting for the other team. And she turns around, and when she realizes it's Mickie, she goes, no, that's okay. And then tags in Sonya. So then Sonya and Mickie actually start out. To be honest, the match was good when the girls who can wrestle were in. I hate to say it like that, because I am rooting for everybody to succeed and everybody to do good. But there's some new girls that have come up from NXT a little too soon, and you can tell. There's some botchy shit. Lots of talk, lots of seeing everybody calling spots. And I'm not ragging on them, because like I said, I want them to do well, but it was mainly Sonya and Mandy. They were kind of botchy. They missed some spots. They missed a lot. There was a lot of whiffs where like Mickie would do a kick or a drop kick and Sonya's 2 feet away from her for some reason. It's like, get into that, man. What are you doing? And I don't like Sonya's gimmick at all. I like her as a person. She seems awesome on Instagram and in interviews I've seen and everything. And she's a good wrestler. She just needs a lot more experience. And I hate that baby shit. That's, you are not Brock Lesnar. I hate when UFC people try and pretend that they're still in the UFC and they're Brock Lesnar. You're not. Stop it. Find her another gimmick, have her lose those stupid gloves, and stop banging on her fucking chest, because it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself, Sonya. No, I'm just kidding. She's great. Sonya tags in, and it's kind of botchy. There's some good stuff as well here and there, some good knees and some good punches and some good kicks, but, there was a lot of rough stuff in it. Mickie and Alexa never squared off in the match, so that kind of helps out the finish. The finish saw Sasha kind of go on a comeback. Bayley got in there and just got kind of beat up. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't great. And then Sasha gets in and does a comeback run against Mandy and Sonya before Alexa is tagged in and goes after Sasha to kind of take advantage. And Sasha rolls her up in a bank statement. Alexa taps. And Sasha, Bayley, and Mickie James are your winners. As soon as the bell rings, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in Absolution destroy Sasha. That's who they went after. Yeah, they went after Sasha, while Alexa is standing behind them, kind of cheering them on, going, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. And then Bayley comes in to try to help Sasha, and she starts to get beat down. So they beat down Sasha, they beat down Bayley, and then they turn to Alexa. And they're like, now you, what are we going to do about you? And she's like, whoa, hey guys, friends, right? Remember, hey, we're friends. And Mickie steps in, takes out Sonya, and then her and Alexa both double DDT Mandy Rose and kind of walk out smiling, going, hey, good job. Thanks for I saved you. Now you saved me. So we're good. That's awesome. And that was the end of the show. That's how we ended Raw. So like I said, there was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff. Not bad. There was some stuff that, kind of felt weird. The Roman, Seth, and John Cena stuff was absolutely the highlight of the night. That should have been the last match. I don't know why they didn't make that the last match, but they should have made that the last match. The bar in Titus was good. Titus Worldwide was good because we got to see Titus Worldwide come out with a victory, and that's always awesome. The women's match was, just like I said, it was a lot of botchy stuff and a lot of stuff that needs to be ironed out in practicing and other rings. And I don't know, the main event of WrestleMania is not a time to do all that stuff. And I hope that nobody gets in trouble, and I hope that those guys work really hard and get better in main event WrestleMania if that's what their dream is, because I'm pulling for everybody. So anyway, that was Raw. We got SmackDown tonight, which will be great. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and AJ Styles and Shane and Daniel and all that stuff. It's going to be great. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All my contact information is in the description below. Thank you very much for showing up. Never be ashamed to be a pro wrestling mark. I'm not. It's awesome, and we all love it, don't we? That's why it's great. All right, guys. I love you. Peace.